Hi, everyone, and welcome back to SunBurst Tarot, where today we're going to be doing a reading on Scientology. And what is it essentially? What are things maybe going on behind the scenes? What are things going on in front of the scenes? Uh, what about doing maybe a little bit of a dive into Shelly Miscavige? Where is she? How is she doing? Uh, where can we kind of see Scientology going? Looking at some of the biggest players within Scientology, John Travolta and Tom Cruise. What's kind of going on with them and the such? So that's what I kind of have a little bit planned here. I have all the timestamps down below if you want to check out any of the other stuff that we're looking into. Otherwise, quick news and announcements. So, if you guys would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so using my website link down below. I am running a 10% off coupon for any services, private readings, which you can use. And that is linked down below in the comment, in my pinned comment, if you want to go check that out. Otherwise, if you would like to join YouTube members, I also have linked in the pinned comment down below the join link. Otherwise, if you're on desktop version, there's a join button right next to my name. Otherwise, that's $3 a month. You get access to exclusive readings, videos like this early, extended readings, and discounts on personal readings if that's something you are interested in. So, with that, that's what I have. Disclaimer, remember, everything I am saying is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts here, y'all, just my opinions, psychic downloads, and the such. So, if you want to use what I'm saying to help form your own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions, please do so. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So, with that, thank you for listening to me, and I will see you guys in the video. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the reading. So, we're going to be looking at Scientology today. And so, the first thing I wanted to look at is what is. I want to look at what we see on the surface of Scientology and what's going on behind the scenes in Scientology. Just due to. It seems like there's been. Scientology is everywhere. They have their scriptures, they have their book that they have written in. And what I really want to look at is what do they do on the surface? How do they portray themselves on the surface rather than how they really act behind the scenes? So that's the first thing I want to look at. And then I want to look into a couple other things. So let's just take a look here first at what do we see above ground, essentially on the surface of Scientology, and then what do we see underneath Scientology. So on the above side. Ooh. So already on the surface of Scientology, we have the Page of Wands reversed, the Page of Pentacles upright, and the Star cards. So what I get from this is we already see them we're saying one thing and doing another. Shady practices and the such. They also are a brand new, and like, when you're looking at the whole context of Scientology in the world, looking at that Page of Pentacles, they are like a baby religion comparative to other players in the game. And with them, they are babies in the players of the game. They also are already kind of caught out on saying one thing and doing another. And like the main objective that we see is them being loud, proud, being the star, being a center showpiece, being they want followers from all around the world that will give them money to this church. Similar to the Roman Catholic Church, similar to Baptist Church, similar to the Lutheran Church, similar to Eastern Orthodox, Jewish churches, Hindu temples, what are they called? From the Muslim religion. So it's like Scientology wants to be one of those household names. That is their kind of goal here on the surface. They want to be to that level where people just, it's a generational thing. That's what we've always been. That's what we always will be. That's kind of like on the surface what is kind of going on. It's like, but they do have some shady things of them saying one thing and then doing another, being a little bit contradictory. Behind the scenes, though. Ooh. behind the scenes, this organization feels like they are restructuring. They're restructuring here with the Ten of Wands reversed. What we don't see about Scientology and the current energy of it today, they are restructuring their scriptures, their what they're saying, their beliefs, and everything in between. So, if I'm not mistaken, Ron L Hubbard was the founder of Scientology. We're going to look into his passing. And it feels like in the current of Scientology, there is a major shift in from Ron Hubbard's teachings to, I think, the person who's running it now is David Miscavige. Miscavige. And it's like there's been a flip or a restructuring in a sense of what has been taught in the past and what is being taught here in the current. There's been a giant shift in power of change. This has been a challenge to move forward with. So we have the Chariot here. Behind the scenes, they're having a tough time, I think, moving past from old scriptures to new ones. And I think this is something that happens with every religion. It's like you have the old texts and then you have the new texts. And it's like, we're just trying to reimagine them for a modern day, right? Wrong. Everyone's kind of still wanting to go off the old text. So remember, Ron L Hubbard, I think, passed in like, it wasn't that long ago. Within the last 50 years, it feels like. And with him passing within the last 50 years, it's like that's not enough time to rewrite and change scriptures and ideals and the such, because there's still people who remember Ron who are around and they're like, why are you changing this up? This isn't right. And I feel like that's a challenge here with that Chariot. It's like we're struggling to move forward or moving too fast in a different direction that not everyone's on board with. Over here with the Nine of Swords, there's a lot of paranoia as well going on behind the scenes. It almost feels like there's a vie for power going on there. And with that vie for power, there's people who are wanting the old scriptures versus the new ones. Are we following Dave? Are we following Ron? And if there is, who are we following? Again, it's almost like, do I want to go there? Yeah, I do. It's almost like Dave Miscavige, as he is the leader of Scientology. He is trying to, I think, paint himself as as Ron Hubbard's replacement. Where I think it's like once Ron passes, then he will be reincarnated and bring back to get the church back online. I think that's how that all went. I did watch what was her name's documentary on Scientology on Netflix. Leah Remini. And so what I'm getting here is that like David is almost like preparing for her. It's like, it's not Ron that you're going to be waiting for. It's got to be me you wait for. And there's a lot of people where that's rubbing people the wrong way. And it's causing a lot of like, where are we going? There's a lot of paranoia as people are like, there's a lot of questioning as well going on within the religion itself too, which is political. Wow, wonderful, great. This is why we have a separation of church and state, y'all. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. It's almost like David's trying to paint himself as Ron Hubbard's. Instead of them waiting for Ron to come back, it's got to be David for them to come back. It's super freaking weird. Whatever. This is... Okay, so next I want to take a look at Ron Hubbard's passing. So there was some weird circumstances, not weird circumstances, but he was up there in age when he passed, if I'm not mistaken. And when he passed, there was a lot of like, was this an inside job? Was it really his time? I'm hearing strongly, no, it wasn't. So it's almost like someone, allegedly, might have come in and sped up the process. But let's take a look here at what's going on here looking at Ron Hubbard's passing. Was there anything was there anything kind of weird or shady shenaniganery going on around those circumstances? All right. So let's take a look. Were there any shady circumstances around Ron L Hubbard's Passing. The death and rebirth. This is a forced death and rebirth. I don't know what else to tell you, but it was not his time. When he went, this was a forced upon him. That's my death card reversed. This is a forced death and change. Yeah, it's a forced death and a rebirth. Also, when I was sorry about that. I also just shut off my heater because it was making a weird noise. And I'm wondering, like, when Ron passed. Because, again, it's a forced death and rebirth. He was not... When Ron passed, it wasn't his time. Yeah, he was up there, but I don't think it was his time. And also I heard, like, this... There's something with the fan, something with... there's some sort of airborne thing, it feels like, in why he passed. Whether this was... something that was just given, whether this is something that came through the air, but was it something airborne that he like ingested or breathed in that like aided in his passing and when he did. That's what I'm getting. Why is this? Because, and it was done by a friend. 3 of Cups upright. Influences on this was done by a friend who he trusted. Also group of 3, so I don't know if I don't remember all the details from Ron's passing, but I feel like everyone's like, yeah, David Miscavige might have had something to do with it, maybe, allegedly, I don't know. Yeah, 3 of Cups upright. It feels like if there was 3 people involved in this whole thing. It was probably Ron and 2 other people. I don't know who it was. But there's a group of 3 that was kind of involved with it. Financial influences, because this is done out of love. Love, or this is somebody wanting to promote their emotions, their thoughts, their ideas out to the worldwide public. This is done out of love, though. It's like, we don't want to see you old and decrepit. Or we don't want to see you in a certain way. Or we don't want you portrayed in a certain way. It's almost like we need to keep the air of strength and virility within our organization. And taking out Ron when they did. My opinions here. It was still in a way of you're still remembering Ron as this strong individual rather than maybe someone who was frail, crookedy, couldn't walk very well. And it's almost like we did this to make sure that like you were still at your peak, that people were still knew you at your peak rather than maybe in your fragility, which is very interesting. The hopes and fears here, it's the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So Knight of Pentacles reversed, hopes and fears in his passing. He got stuck. So Knight of Pentacles is a stuck energy. That's what it was. People were afraid of getting stuck, it feels like, in what they had. There wasn't going to be movement forward. You didn't have a plan. It's almost like, you know how there's individuals when they're older in age, they kind of just want to keep things the way they are and they want to maintain the status quo because that's what they've always known. Or it's like, as long as change is really hard for people who are really young and for people who are really old, right? And it feels like here that in Ron's older ages, like he wanted to just maintain the status quo. There were other people though who were maybe younger who wanted to be like, we want to push things forward. We want to make new things. We want to bring about change. And Ron was like, no, we want to keep the status quo. But again, remember, older individuals like don't like change because they're kind of set in their ways, right? And that's what it kind of feels like was happening here. Unseen obstacles though, the 7 of Wands. Ooh. This is all about Ron not wanting to change things. This is all about Ron wanting to maintain what they had. It's like, we don't need to grow to be this biggest, baddest thing. We just need to maintain what we have, keep our things on the ground. And he was almost untouchable in a way with his thoughts, his ideas, because that's what he formed his religion around, was people worshipped him correct? And his teachings, his thoughts, how he thought about the world. And so it's like, you really couldn't touch, how you want to call it. He's like his version, like his religion's version of Jesus, right? And it's like, well, Jesus's teachings are the ones that we follow, correct? Well, this is Ron's teachings that we're following. So if if the prophet is here and he's still talking, like, we must listen to the prophet. But if he's passed on, well, then the prophet's messages are more open to interpretation because he's not there to explain them or defend them. The other challenge, the Ten of Swords, this is a backstabbing and betrayal. Again, I don't feel that Ron's, when he passed, this was not, it was not his time. What was going for this whole situation, the Ace of Wands, he was burnt out. Ron was burnt out. There wasn't going to be a lot of change or forward movement with Ron at this point in time. He was burnt out. Passions had been kind of burned out pretty quickly. Here in the past, there's a lot of secrets that he held as well. Secrets about the organization, secrets about other people, gods. And then here in the future, the Four of Pentacles. Also, I think this is all about investment as well. Now with this Four of Pentacles, when Ron passed, more investments were able to come into the church, but also the church was able to put more investments into other people, places, and or things to help bring or elevate the church to a higher status. Remember, the prophet is gone in their sense. Now interpretations, now his words can be up to interpretations because he's not here to clarify things. And so if we want to put money towards X, Y, and Z, well, we can maybe spin the narrative around Ron's teaching on page 38, section paragraph 2, line 5, and spin it into why we need to put money into this building in this location to make it a profitable thing. And it's like, that's kind of what it feels like going around these circumstances. Okay, so next I want to take a look at how has the organization been since David Miscavige, I'm gonna say it, has been essentially running Scientology. How has the organization been? How's it been doing? How does it feel as it's been kind of under Dave's rule? So let's take a look here. And I know people are like, well, let's take a look at like John Travolta and Tom Cruise and what's going on there. And I'm like, we will get there. So let's take a look. How has Dave been? How's it been since Dave's taken over? Oh, wonderful. First card, first pull, El Diablo. We've gone to, we need to worship me and me only. It's also taken a turn for, let's go to Crazy Town. Let's do some not so good things. Why is this the Knight of Swords reversed? Because someone was easily influenced. Someone was easily influenced. But it's like, this is the direction we need to take. Because it's like, if we want to be a major player on the worldwide scale with Scientology versus these other major denominational religions, we're going to have to go play in the mud with them, allegedly. From a financial influence, also, we have the Ace of Wands, which is new ideas, creative passions. We need to go after the bigwigs. We need to go after these people who are going to be seen, these ideas, This is like a major expansion, is what it feels like. What's gone big with David is he's had a major expansion in the religion underneath his reign, essentially. He's been able to bring in new money, new ways of getting in resources to the organization to help it grow, maintain, grow, and evolve into the entity that it has. Hopes and fears, here is the Three of Cups upright, which is we want to have more partnerships with bigger people, friends, family. Whoever you can get in, you want to get in. The unseen obstacle, though, here is the World card reverse. They're kind of spinning in circles right now, is that at least what it feels like. Under David's Management. There's been a lot of repeating of cycles. It's like the same, we try the same thing expecting a different result, and then it happens. We try the same thing expecting a different result, and it happens again. It's like there's been a constant cycle of people, places, things going wrong because we're trying the same thing in a different location and it blows up in our face. I also feel like this is the teachings. This is how we're disseminating things. It's like I get from here the sense that David has tried time and time and time again to put his words out to the congregation to get people on his side, and each and every time it feels like it's failed. Because the other challenge here, the Eight of Swords, David himself is in a very interesting predicament, is what it feels like. Because it's like he's trapped by the confines of his position, or he's trapped in some way by other forces outside of himself. Whether this be other religions, whether this be other groups, entities, he's playing in the mud with. He is kind of stuck where he's at, and he's not able to get out of this cycle. Eight of Swords is like, I'm a victim of my own circumstances. And he's like, he's put himself in this situation with these El Diablo characters, allegedly, and he's kind of stuck there now, where I think, and this might be the really tough part of his job. And it's like, do I want to go there? Yeah, okay, let's go there. It's almost like he has these teachings from other religions, allegedly, in Hollywood, allegedly, where they have maybe darker intentions. David's job, since he's been a victim of his own circumstances, whatever he follows, whatever he's a part of, he has been tasked, it almost feels like, to integrate those El Diablo kind of things into Scientology. Him being him, we have tried and we've failed. We've tried and we've failed. It's almost like David's been tasked with trying to get all these El Diablo stuff into the religion, but he has not been able to do it. Because there's been like, that doesn't follow the teachings, that doesn't follow this, that doesn't follow that. There's a lot of it's like there's been trying to be a conversion of what Scientology means, and there's too many people aren't stupid in Scientology. And I think that's something to be really, really cognizant about in this reading, and that is the people in Scientology don't feel stupid. They're not very stupid people. So when new things are being introduced to them, and they're like, well, that's not in the scriptures. That's not in what was taught to us. This isn't what Ron taught us. This isn't what Ron said. And it's causing a lot. And that's like, so it's been a giant pushback in maybe some of these more uglier aspects. Very interesting. Ooh, what's going for his reign right now? 5 of Pentacles. He's also somehow lost a ton of money. Don't know how that's happened, but this could be, I've lost a ton of money, or this could be, I'm stockpiling. He's a stingy MFer, which is interesting. It's like he himself is a very stingy person, and that's why he's like, he doesn't give a lot of that's what this is. David doesn't give a lot of himself to the religion of Scientology. He gives a lot of other people that he is a victim of his circumstances who wants to get El Diablo sort of thingamabobbers going on in this organization. He's really bad at giving himself away to the people, but he's really good at being a snake oil salesman for others to his congregation. And remember, his congregation isn't stupid. So it's like, I also think that's a very in tune group, very interesting religion, very interesting. This is odd, but how I would put it is when people listen to David, it's almost like, we know these aren't your words, ding-a-ling. Why are you saying them? These aren't Ron's words. Why are you saying them? There's a level of discernment within this congregation, which is interesting. To me, at least, because like, we're reading the scriptures. We're reading everything. What you're saying isn't following. And we know this isn't your words either, because it's like they can feel like these aren't your words, David. These aren't your words. It's like he's been a puppet, essentially. Here in the past, the Seven of Cups, he had a lot of different options of what to do here. Seven of Cups, I have a lot of different options. Some are good, some are bad, some are tangible, some aren't. And then here in the future, the King of Cups upright. I don't know David's, whatchamacallit, sign. But with this is like, this is an emotional mastery coming up here. And like, what's the future of David, and how has he been with it? How has he been since taking over the reins of Scientology? And looking here in the future, it looks like he is coming into an emotional mastery and being able to convey his emotions and the such. And this is actually him taking over his own thing, which is interesting. I also think that this might be a brand new person too. No? Oh, interesting. But it's like he's getting emotional mastery over himself, so he's able to convey his words, not someone else, and not be a parrot for someone else's words. Or he's being able to finally figure out how to put how to invoke his emotions as a parrot. There we are. This is really interesting. Scientology is going through a major power struggle, it feels like, with David kind of having to figure out, how do I invoke my emotions with the messages that I am being told to put into this religion. I also get the sense that I don't know if David himself actually follows Scientology. I don't know if David is actually following the core values of Scientology. I don't know if David is an actual Scientologist. Just my opinions. So, and a question to put out there. If you looked at the teachings of the Scientology, I don't know if David actually follows them. I would say he follows another and is a puppet within this organization. But that's just my opinion. So, let's see here. This is going to be one that I think a lot of people want to know about, and that's about Shelly. So I'm just going to do a quick read on Shelly and see what's going on there. And yeah, because Shelly Miscavige has allegedly not been seen since like 2013, so close to 10 plus years or longer. And people are wondering where she is. So we just want to know if she's okay, how she's doing, what's going on, and the such. So let's take a look. What's going on with Miss Shelly, okay? And remember, everything's all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts. What's going on with Shelly? Page of Swords upright. Speaking our truth, speaking our ideas, putting our ideas into practice. Why is this the Queen of Swords? I'm just going to pull everything before I speak. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so what's going on with Shelly? Shelly, in my opinion, is still around and kicking. That's what I see. She's around and kicking, but she's unable to communicate with anyone. It's our Queen of Swords down here. She is it feels like my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings are locked in this box down here, and they're not coming out. However, she is writing in some way. This is giving me the sense of, I don't know if she's got a book, if she's writing letters. She's in isolation. Who or where that may be, I just get lots and lots of trees. There's a waterfall nearby, and that's all I'm going to say. So it's like she's there, but she's writing something. She's writing something and putting her ideas down to something is what Shelly feels like. Why is this? Because I'm locked in a cage and I'm not able to speak my true emotions, and if I did, I'm going to lash out. Financial influences on this situation. It's because she's looking at what she's lost rather than what she has. I also get here that with the Four of Cups, it's she's in isolation. She's not able to see any other people, and that's like from a material standpoint. She's just not able to get to other people. She's been isolated and she's kind of a little bit depressed, I would feel, as well, because it's like, again, I don't know how many people she's actually seen. When is the last time she was seen out in public as Shelly? Hmm. Because over here as well with the hopes and fears is the star reversed, not being seen, not being heard. Um, your star power is fallen. No one knows. Down here with the unseen obstacle, it's like bad decisions were made, but it's also like justice won't be served in this situation. I don't know what Shelly knows. I can pull on that, but the justice card reversed here, it's like uh, the truth will not be coming out. Justice will not be coming for whatever has happened. I will not be able to speak my truth. Because to clarify, it's the Ten of Cups. This is the Ten of Cups reversed, which is unhappy home and family. This feels like David. So King of Pentacles or King of Wands energy upright. So I do feel like David has a very tight control of where Shelly is. Down here, the Seven of Wands, she was unable to defend herself in some way. She was like, it's almost like I see whisked away in the middle of the night and just not being able to be seen. Here in the future, that Queen of Pentacles reversed, which is loss of money, material, financing, lack of nurturing, lack of home, lack of space to be. So do I see her coming to light anytime soon? No. At least not in a very public sense. What I see and what I feel is I do think Shelly has been seen since she's been put into forced isolation, but it's been in very, very closed circles. And when I mean closed circles, it's like this is a private event that only like 5 or 6 people like are invited to and even know about, and Shelly has to go because she's the partner, and that is the only reason why she is allowed out. But she's not allowed to interact with anyone else. She's not allowed to interact with the public. She's not allowed to interact online. She's not allowed to interact anywhere. It's only with very closed circles. That's what I'm feeling like where Shelly is and what's going on there. Let's take a look at why she was put into isolation. Because that I'm kind of curious about. Why was Shelly put into isolation? This is coming up pretty easy off the tongue too. So it feels like a lot of this is kind of known within inner circles. So it's really interesting. It's almost like this is information in plain sight, but yet people refuse to acknowledge it too much. Okay, so let's take a look. Why was Shelly put into isolation? Give it 3 more shuffles. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Why was Shelly put into isolation? Ten of Cups, because it's something with the family. Did her and David have kids? Because it's like there's something with the family, whether it's teaching, whether this is we need you to stay at home with the family or something, or like you know too much from like a spouse perspective because you're unbalanced. It's like, you know something that I'm unbalanced. Was she coming out against her spouse with like how he's unbalanced? He's not following the teachings. He's something along those lines. Because financial influences on this situation. The 8 of Cups. She was not letting something go. She was refusing to walk away from a situation. She was not letting something go. Hopes and fears here. She was going to come out and speak her truth, but also from like a place of passion. If I'm not mistaken, Shelly was in Scientology since like she was a kid. So like she followed Ron L Hubbard's teachings for like her entire life. So she knew them like the back of her hand. So like when I think her husband decided it was like going and maybe how do I put this? Flip-flopping things, manipulating things to his own advantage. She was like, that's not right. That's not the teachings that I taught you. Like, this is from her home and family. This is her whole foundation. She's refusing to let things go as well, and she's getting pretty aggressive about it as well. Unseen obstacles with her, though. The Seven of Cups, it's like, The information that she had, she didn't know the whole story, or she only knew parts of it. Because with the Seven of Cups, it's given me the sense of, hey, we have one over here, we have one idea over here, another piece of information over here, another piece of information over here. And she was finally starting to connect the pieces together, but she was never able to get them all together. But if she did, it was an aha moment. It's like, this is what was going to happen. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is what needs to be told to the entire congregation. But it's like, she didn't have all the pieces together yet, and someone was like, she's getting really close to putting all the pieces together. Also here, the Five of Wands reverse is the other challenge. She was fighting with herself too, it feels like, of, hey, am I going to talk about this? Am I not going to talk about this? Am I going to expose this, or am I not going to expose this? There was a lot of internal fear, guilt, shame, as well as just fighting within oneself, it feels like, of, how am I going to talk about this? Is this even true? I feel like there was also a lot of self-doubt of her trying to figure out, is this actually the truth? It's like she didn't want to believe what she was seeing in front of her eyes. What went for her is that in her going into isolation here, the Ten of Swords, she was able to heal from a lot of things. But here she's also kind of walking towards her happiness. This is interesting. She's walking toward her happiness. It's like she's been able to collect more information almost from her and here's the King of Cups. There's Dave. There's Dave in the past. This is the reason why she's no longer with us. And then here in the future, Knight of Swords. She was getting ready to run. She was getting ready to run. She was getting ready to go to someplace else, hide, talk about these things, and expose David. That's what it was really about. That's why they had to put her into isolation, because it's like, if she's left to her own devices, she's gone, and she's going to tell people about what's going on. She didn't have all the pieces together at one point, but I think she's finally figured them out. She has all the pieces now, and if she's allowed to talk with that Knight of Swords, it's over for the rest of it's over for David. It almost feels like, which is why we keep her in isolation and away from other people, because it's easier to keep her in isolation than to keep her under locking, than to keep her maybe under not so good of, like, it's harder, it's easier to keep her under lock and key than maybe 6 feet under for some reason. Don't know what that's all about. I almost think that there might be it's almost like David's afraid. What I see is like, I'm afraid you're gonna come haunt my butt. You're gonna come haunt my ass if you're 6 feet under. And it's like, I almost feel like that might have been a threat as well that was put out there. Like, I'll haunt, if I'm gone, I'm haunting you. So interesting there. So let's take a look here next, and this is where I'm gonna end it, is just, how is Tom Cruise in Scientology doing? So, because I know Tom Cruise is kind of like the poster child for Scientology at the current. So I wanted to kind of just take a look at what are his current thoughts with Scientology and kind of go from there. Ten of Cups. This is his home, his family, foundation. How does he feel about Scientology? This is where he's grown up. This is where he's gotten his ins, his networking, his people. Whoop. Why is this the chariot? It's gotten a lot of inroads in for him within different circles, different people, places, things. This has been a great networking opportunity, but he's been able to get a lot of movie roles, a lot of business deals, and the such by being in this organization. Financial influence is here, though, but Page of Swords. There's some weird things with bookkeeping here, it feels like. Page of Swords reversed. It's almost like he said he's given some, but maybe not given everything that they've asked for. There's also some book work on Scientology's end, it feels like, that he's caught. It's like, why are you asking for more? for X, Y, and Z when it doesn't make any sense. You haven't given me any reasoning why things went up or why this happened or why I got charged for that or this, that, and the other thing. I think there's definitely some issues when it comes to billing. And what do you mean I owe 1 million in church dues this year? This is weird. What? Hopes and fears here. I do think he wants to leave the church with the 3 of Pentacles reversed. It is a sense of, I want to leave. I want to break this contract. I want to break this business deal that we have together. Unseen obstacles, though, they have so... If I'm not mistaken, he has a daughter, right? Is that Surrey? I don't know why I got that card off of, but this is kids. They got something with him with kids. Surrey. They got something with his kid on him or with kids on him. It's like, we got dirt on you. If you really want to leave, like, we'll just let this dirt about something from your past coming on out. Because you maybe put a wand where you weren't supposed to, or you did something without thinking too much. Page of Wands. At a party, maybe. What's going for him? Oh, maybe it's not going for him. The King of Wands. Again, this is all about wand energy, passions, chemistry, between the sheets type of energy. There's something going on with kids. I'm not saying that it's with Tom's own kid. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is that there feels like there's something from the past here. There's a young energy and an older energy coming together, and it's like, this is the dirt that we have on you that's kind of not letting you leave this location or this church in some way. Because you're in the past. You weren't allowed to leave. You can't. You were choosing to not walk away. You cannot leave. And then here in the future, the 7 of Wands, you can't defend yourself with the evidence that we have against you. You would have to take your licks, and I don't know if you want to take your licks. That's what it kind of feels like here for Mr. Tom Cruise and his ability to not leave Scientology. It's like they have too much dirt on him, but it's like they financially screwed him over so bad it's not even funny. Let's take a look quick here at John Travolta, and then I will end it. Okay? I'm trying to... Oh boy, this got a little long, but that's okay. Let's take a look. John Travolta, Scientology. What's we got here? All right. John Travolta. What are your thoughts? What's with you and Scientology right now? What is going on with you? All right. Let's see what we got here. What's going on with John Travolta and Scientology? 3 of Cups. He's pretty happy as a clam here. 3 of Cups upright. I got friends. I got my people. I feel like I'm part of a group. Why is this? Because I was able to let go of a ton of burdens that kind of bound me to other people. Like, it does feel like he feels very, very accepted within the Scientology religion. Ooh. However, I don't think John has a lot of money. John doesn't have a lot of money, and I almost feel like Scientology has almost drained him for every penny that he's had. Either Scientology has drained him for every penny that he's had, or other things, people, places, and or things have drained him for all that he's had. And he's not doing so hot financially right now. Tower reverse. We are avoiding disaster at every turn. So it's almost, I wonder, within the Scientology religion, if he has been given handouts, or if he has given handouts to them to help them keep them afloat. Because they've asked a lot of money from him, but I don't believe that all the money that he's given has been really given to the church. It feels like it's been given to certain individuals within the church. It's almost like, I got you. It's like a loan, almost. A loan shark kind of guy. Ooh, the hopes and fears here. He is very controlling, but also I feel like this is interesting. He is a very controlling individual. He's very controlling about his people, where his money goes, how he leads, and the such. Hopes and fears here. He is which is really interesting, because like connecting up with his energy, he feels a lot more timid. John Travolta feels to me like a very timid individual. However, it's like he's very greedy, and he's not even greedy and selfish. He's almost like this is like a tyrant card. So, like, I don't know if he's afraid of coming off as a tyrant, or if he is a tyrant, or if there's someone around him that is a tyrant that kind of maybe controls his money, controls where things are, and he kind of doesn't have a big say in things. Because the unseen obstacle here, oh, this is the industry, this is my community card, this is the people around him. These are a lot of people who do not have good intentions for Mr. John Travolta. He has been a sucker. He's been suckered a lot within this religion, it feels like. A lot of people have gone after him. A lot of people have gone after his money. There's a lot of dirt on him as well. Where he might feel, oh, because people don't, this is kind of sad actually, because it feels like John feels welcomed within the circle, like he feels like he can be himself. However, people hate his freaking guts here. It's almost like they placate him to a point where we just want your money. That's all you're good to us for. And that's like, and John's like being placated to so much because he's just not accepted in a lot of other circles, but in this circle he feels accepted. This is honestly kind of sad. This is honestly really, really sad. People, I think, absolutely hate him, but because he has money, they play nice with him. Because what's going for him? He's lost his star power. He's lost his pizzazz to bring other people in. I honestly think they just saw him as an accessory to the organization to bring others in. And then he was placated into making him feel like he was welcomed, he belonged, and the such. Because I think that's really what John Travolta wanted. If you guys want me to do a John Travolta deep dive, let me know. As here in the past, there's David. David brought him in, that King of Cups energy, and then here in the future, the King of Swords energy. He might get, Mr. John Travolta. Don't sign contracts. This is giving me the sense of he might be, whatever will he has, it feels like almost all of his life savings might get put towards Scientology because they somehow finagled in that all of his earnings get donated to the church instead of to other organizations, people, places, and or things. That's what that King of Swords up, right? He's getting locked into contracts where I'm like, brah, you might not want to go into that contract. But that's what it's feeling like here. That's what I'm seeing for Scientology. If you guys enjoyed this, feel free, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Otherwise, if you guys would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so using my website link down below. I have a 10% off discount, which you can get pinned in, which is in my pinned comment for any services, personal readings, and the such on my website using the code holidays24. Otherwise, if you guys would like to join YouTube members, you can do so using the join button down below, right next to my name if you're on desktop. Otherwise, I do have the link in the pinned comment as well, located below. $3 a month, you get access to extended readings, exclusive readings, discounts on personal readings, as well as videos like this early. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free, check her out. $3 a month. I really appreciate it, and it just helps support me and the channel. Otherwise, thank you all again so very, very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!